Hey, it's Dan Morales, and this is Homebuyer Radio, episode 112. Hard to believe that we've been doing this for 112 different episodes, but thank you for listening. Our audience continues to grow. It's amazing to me how many people from all over the country are actually listening to this podcast and learning something from it, right? Like the whole goal in doing this podcast, there's really two different goals, right? The first one is to be able to generate business for myself. I'm a mortgage loan officer, and that's kind of the primary focus of doing this, right? I obviously love what I do. I've done this 28 years. And I love to educate my clients, but I also need to be able to support my family. So that's why I do this podcast. It is a way to do that, right? But at the same time, it's a way to educate those of you who are in the process of buying a house on how you can go about that. And hopefully, do it in a way that is going to benefit you, right? Where you're in the best possible position that you can be when it's all said and done. So this week, what I want to talk about is getting a second opinion, okay? Maybe you're somebody who has gone through this mortgage process and been turned down. Okay, maybe you were told no, you don't qualify for a mortgage, and now you're wondering, what's that next step? What do I do now that I've been turned down? Well, the first thing I would highly recommend that you do is that you get a second opinion. Okay, this past week, I had 4 different transactions where clients were told no, and we were able to tell them yes. Now, fortunately, those 4 different people got to us, and they were able to get across the finish line and get a deal put together. Where had they not gotten to us, and had they stopped based on what they were told originally by other lenders, they would have given up, right? And the bad part about that is they would have given up this process, and maybe they would have tried again in the future. The problem with that, though, is what happens when you decide to try to buy a house a year from now or 2 years from now, and now that house is that much more expensive, and potentially interest rates are higher, and now it's just that much even more of a hurdle to clear, when in all honesty, they could have did this transaction right now. And fortunately for those 4 different people, right? Like, that's amazing to me. 4 different people. One of them was turned down by 3 different lenders, okay? And we were able to put that deal together. Now, truth be told, I would dare say that, of those 4 people, 3 of those deals really could have been done by multiple people if they had the knowledge and experience to be able to put it together. So don't just take no for an answer, okay? If you've been told no, that you don't qualify for a mortgage, don't just take no for an answer. Get that second opinion from somebody like myself, okay? I told you at the beginning of this podcast, I do it because I try to generate business for myself as a lender, and I am super grateful because a number of you I've had the opportunity to work with that have gotten to us through this podcast. So as our audience continues to grow, our reach continues to grow, and the number of people that we get to work with continues to grow that are listeners of this podcast, which is super rewarding to me to know that, we did actually impact people for good and in a positive way. So if you've been told no for a mortgage, I would really just encourage you, get a second opinion, okay? Just because you were told no by somebody doesn't mean that is the final answer. It's really important that you get, a good answer from a knowledgeable lender. A good knowledgeable lender is going to help you to understand what you can do to position yourself for an approval if they can't get you approved right now. And that's super important because you want to be able to be successful. Even if you've been told no by somebody else and you get told no by somebody like myself, usually what I'm going to do is I'm going to help coach you on where you or what you need to do to be able to get to the point where the answer can turn from no to yes, right? And I always tell clients the answer is never no. It's really just not now, because usually what can happen is with a little bit of work and, a little bit of, following kind of the process that we lay out for you, even though the answer may be no now, that doesn't mean that it's going to stay no forever. It can likely turn to yes by following some steps and doing some legwork, okay? Hey, my name is Dan Morales. I go by Dan, the Mortgage Man. You can find me online at danmorales.com. That's DANMORALEZ.com. My phone number is 616-931-4629. and my NMLS number is 709729. And of course, North Point Bank is an equal housing lender. Now, hey, before you go, if you're listening on the audio podcast, make sure you check us out on Instagram TV. Right, you get to see my ugly face, as part of that. But that's something that we've been playing around with is Instagram TV, just trying to grow an audience there. You can always find us on Facebook at Dan the Mortgage Man. That's one other place that we are, and of course, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify. I mean, you name it, we're pretty much everywhere we can be, including YouTube. Okay, so do me a favor, if you can, leave a 5-star review, especially if you are somebody who's listening on iTunes, because that helps to get us in front of even more people. And that's really what we're trying to do, is we're trying to impact as many people as we can positively. But at the same time, I do have a selfish reason for doing this, and that is to help to grow my mortgage practice. I've done this for 28 years. I take a lot of pride in doing a really good job for our clients, and we'd love to help you if you're in the market to buy a house. So again, Dan Morales, 616-931-4629. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, and I hope to have the opportunity to work with you soon. Bye.